Welcome back to Finding Monster Right. Show about fighting monsters, right?
Right.
In my white outfit with my weird hat, my name is Adam Hammond.
And I don't know what character from Jurassic Park I would be, but I'm also here. And today's episode is Thank You, Rex. Improving Jurassic World's Indominus.
Yes, you know the Indominus Rex. It's the big white one with the long arms that they dropped the ball on a little bit in terms of how crazy you could get when it comes to dino designs.
I think when this movie first came out, well, for some background, I was my standard, dino child fascination evolved pretty directly into the Jurassic Park fandom. So, I was very much into, which of these dinosaurs would win in a fight, and then later I became more of a paleo nerd. I worked in a paleontology lab for a bit in school. That part was more of a professional curiosity at that point, but basically, people were a little bit upset at Indominus Rex. They were calling it Diabolus Rex a bit at the beginning there.
Mm.
And then they changed it eventually, but people thought that they could do better.
Yeah, they, should we discuss the standard, your box standard Indominus Rex, powers and stuff?
Yes, yeah. What are, counterintuitively to my dinosaur and animal just background knowledge and knowledge of this franchise, I think you did more research for this episode.
So yeah, I approach this a little more as a mechanical designer, so hopefully our two skill sets can kind of interlock here. But yeah, I reverse engineered the Indominus and saw what stuff they put into this creature, and a lot of it feels a little story driven. To be fair, that his powers and the DNA that they patched this dinosaur with came from stuff that, as I was doing research into other animal superpowers, were all on the list. It was almost like Colin Trevorrow saw the same article that I had seen, which was cool animal powers. Because I think you can, with your skills, you can tell us how far removed the T-Rex is from the cuttlefish.
As far removed as I am from a cuttlefish.
Yeah, just real far apart.
Yeah. Wasn't there a thing where that was weren't they trying to explain away that we used cuttlefish DNA to so it would be more timid or whatever, some reason, and then but it also gave it the ability to camouflage.
Yeah.
And it's you do know the DNA for whatever you were going for is not the same as the DNA for camouflaging. You don't just take a drop of cuttlefish and throw it in there and hope for the best. You have to take out specific sequences that code for certain things.
The DNA part that gives you blonde hair is not the DNA part that gives you Wolverine claws.
Not to mention that often, with wildly different animals, the same section of DNA doesn't necessarily code for the same thing. A good example is transplanting mouse genes from the eyes into different parts of a fruit fly makes the fruit fly grow extra fly eyes on it. So that means that the genes that the mouse and the fly have are in common, which makes sense. But I know that certain reptiles can change color to a certain degree, chameleons and all that. Mm-hmm. But I'm more familiar with mollusk chromatophores. I don't know if those are homologous. I don't know if those share a common ancestor or if they just evolved the same way.
It would almost make more sense for it to be just straight a chameleon. Right?
Yeah.
If they're going for the dino lizard, the lizardy dinos.
Which they do in these movies. They do go for the more lizardy versions.
So I think this is all stemming from the what happens in the first movie. how some of the DNA that they supplanted was from frogs, amphibians, very far removed, yes, but it's and that's what led to the problems of the film. That's the frogs were able to change their sex, and
some West African frogs have been known to change sex from male to female in single-sex environments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that led to troubles when there's more dinos being bred than they were planning as scientists. So, you're Indominus Rex. Hey, you know what a T-Rex looks like, right?
Yep.
It's white. Got it?
Yep, okay.
It's bigger.
Ooh, how much bigger?
It's like 20% bigger.
Okay, that doesn't seem that noticeable.
You're correct. You know its little dangly, wimpy arms?
Oh, I hate those things.
No, this thing's got anchor arms.
Hmm.
Yeah, he wants them veiny. Stupid. No, he's got long arms.
Far from the dumbest thing that's been said, even 5 minutes into the episode.
Right. And you know its mouth?
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan of that mouth.
It gets bigger.
Oh.
Yeah. So the powers that the I-Rex demonstrates throughout the film are that it hides its I was gonna say digital signature. It hides its heat signature.
It is, when you break it down, it is just kind of a CGI model.
Well, it does remove its tracking device, but that's like an intelligence thing.
That's insanity. Well, wait, doesn't it have intelligence from the cuttlefish?
Most of the intelligence they claim comes from the Velociraptor.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, that twist. Here's a thing. So, like, Jurassic Park 3 came out when I was when I was 6 or 7, right?
Yes.
And then, from then on, like, maybe by the time I was, like, 10, peak dinosaurs age, that's diminishing. I know a lot of good paleontologists, but from, like, maybe the time I was 10 until 2015, I have been following JP4 news, and, like, one of the biggest things that was in all the drafts was dinosaur-human hybrids.
Yeah, I recall that, which, as someone that is not as ingrained in the fandom, seems really crazy to me.
I mean, it's the logical, shocking place to go, kind of, because, like, in Jurassic Park 4, when, the I-Rex starts talking to the raptors, which is, like, not how animals work at all, but, like, the twist is that Star-Lord is, like, it's, like, there's something they didn't tell us. And I was like, he's gonna say it? He's like, that thing's part raptor. Oh. Oh, okay, I guess that's also exciting? Why? I know that it's a big mashup of a bunch of dinosaurs. Why is it special that it's also part this other dinosaur? That's not a twist.
Yeah, right. I see exactly what you're saying.
Also, we all know that famously dogs can talk to wolves, right? Well, it's just like that.
Yeah, when the wolf pack is hanging out and a big dog comes over, those wolves are like, whoa, this dog, we should listen to him.
Yeah, no, we all know that wolves love dogs and have never hurt dogs.
Mm-hmm. But, okay, so, Velociraptor, but mostly, yeah, it's got that T-Rex base. He's white, he's big, and, yeah, so, he uses tree frog DNA to disguise its heat signature.
Which, okay, that is not possible to do. Like, when you're a tree frog, okay, sure. When you are an animal the size of a Buick, like, you are generating heat internally just by virtue of being so big. It's called gigantothermy.
Yeah, and this thing has part Gigantosaurus.
You can't...
That's what makes it so big.
Oh yeah, well, the skull is a lot more Giganotosaurus shaped.
You know what? That's a much better pronunciation.
Gigantosaurus really is exactly how I want to pronounce it every single time I look at it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's where they claim that's from. It does camouflage like a cuttlefish,
which
turning its whole body invisible.
You are making an animal for a zoo.
Yeah,
Why are
there's
you
no,
making... Oh, God.
there's no situation where putting cuttlefish in there would be better than something that can't, like, turn invisible.
No, yeah. And, well, like, I guess also the idea is that he's making it for the military applications, which... That's the stupidest fucking... I'm sorry. That's the fucking stupidest fucking... There we go. Thing that I've ever heard in my life. Like, people have been using elephants and horses in war for decades. Why not dinosaurs?
Yeah, you know. Like those modern war elephants. That Legolas fights.
A drone. Drones
Imagine
are bad.
Imagine if that drone was twice as big and said, "Ah!" Right? That's a good drone.
Imagine if that drone were twice as big, walked around, and tried to kill you. That's just...
Yeah, no, I see that. It has a heat vision of its own, which it gets from the pit viper.
That actually, pardon the pun, that scans. And I am wondering if there is evidence of that kind of sense in actual dinosaurs. I might need to look into that. I don't know. Contrary to what you might hear from Alan Grant about how its vision is based on movement, it's actually kind of difficult to judge an animal's senses based on only its bones.
Yeah, that makes sense. And
there is some work into certain lines of research that I think have proven that the T-Rex's vision was not based on movement, but I would need to fact check that.
Yeah, and those are the credited animal dinosaurs that go into the Indominus. I think that we can do better than that.
I really think we can do better than that. Like,
yeah, there's some cooler powers out there. There's some better things, both thematically and a movie sense, but also. So I have three different categories here that I'd like us to judge these under. Okay.
Okay.
One is as an exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
So something to wow guests, something to please the investors, like its brand.
This will give the parents nightmares. No, it won't. Like, if it's a dinosaur and they're at a dinosaur park, no one's going to be shocked by that except children.
Well, it's also the whole concept of it, where they're like, hey, our park was getting real boring, so we had to make a new dinosaur.
We had to make a new dinosaur, and then we had to blackfish it.
Yeah, zoos are perfectly interesting. People go to zoos all the time.
Well, Adam, zoos aren't 120 miles west off the coast of Costa Rica.
Yeah, I understand that it's a hard to get to destination.
Wait, did I remember that number correctly? I don't want to like drop all my Jurassic Park cred and then not remember how far away Isla Nublar is.
Well, I guess what I'm thinking is that when they say, "Hey, we've got dinosaurs," honey, there's a new. They have 33 dinosaurs this year.
Oh, like
it's like now we can afford it.
Oh, a big Moby Dick dinosaur. Oh boy!
Now we're not going to Disney. That puts us into the next $100,000 price range.
Oh, hey, sorry, listeners. There's a little bit of thunder where I am, so that might be beneficial for the Frankenstein kind of effect.
I was gonna say that's because we're disobeying God in this creation.
Well, if that were true, I would just be hearing thunder all the time. So I don't know if that's right.
Okay. First, it's the as an exhibit. The second aspect here is as for the Indominus Rex to combat the forces of the island and make a better movie.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd want to say this is a rant that I'm sure I'll have several times throughout the podcast, but I don't like invisibility as a power. I think it's really lame. It's like when I was playing Skyrim, you get to the end of a big series of quests, and it's like, hey, do you want to become invisible? Or do you want a different power? I'm like, I'll take a different power because I spent 100 hours designing how my character looks and finding this cool armor. It's like, why would I not want to see it? That happens in D&D all the time. I'm just like, invisible? Who? I have a look.
Adam, in D&D, you can't... It's... Never mind.
Yeah, I get it. But okay, so there's that, and the third aspect here is military purpose.
Right, oh my god.
If this dino is used as a weapon of war, is this a good power for it to have?
I looked forward to that segment because...
Well, I'm more of, I'm thinking that these are all 3 criteria that we could look at each power under.
There was an amazing, this is off topic. This is quasi-on topic, but concerning the Indoraptor.
Yes, from the sequel, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah, in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, they make a dinosaur that attacks whatever you point a laser pointer at, but the laser pointer is attached to a gun, which, like, at that point, does it not make much more sense to just point at a thing and shoot it?
Yep.
And somebody commented, like, instead of smothering the old man with the pillow, he should have trained the pillow to suffocate anyone that he pointed a machete at.
Yeah, no, it's a real...
It's a humdinger of a motion picture, and I think it's its own whole topic. I think we should stick to Jurassic World 1, Jurassic Park 4.
Agreed. So yeah, I wanted to also outline some rules of design, but I only have one rule, and that's it must still be a dinosaur.
Damn it. Okay.
Yeah. So if we're just gonna be like, hey, it's like 2 elephants in one.
Are they connected at, like, the tail?
No, they're like it looks like they're connected. They're like a centaur.
Oh wow, that's more like a millipede thing. This is a terrible animal you've made. Yeah, Get out of here. This is a direct quote, by the way, from Dr. Wu behind the scenes.
It's also funny because I looked in the research of this, and it's like Dr. Wu, he did some DNA splicing for like a plant, and he's like, yeah, I'll just do a T-Rex next. Like, they didn't do this for any, like, animals.
Well, in the book, he makes a like tiny elephant for John Hammond to just carry around and show investors and stuff.
Perfect.
But he makes it without using any genetic engineering. He just, like, takes the artificial embryo and just, like, grows it in a way where it doesn't grow big. And it's kind of like...
He, like, makes a bonsai elephant.
Yeah, it's... Oh, that's a... Wow. But it's like this commentary that's very present in the book, that's watered down into unrecognizability in the films. It's like this corporate criticism is what the Jurassic Park books are all about. But the point is of, like, cutting corners and assuming control where you have none. And the movies just kind of boil that down to, yeah, but God says not to do a dinosaur zoo. And, like, that's not what the books are about, and it doesn't really hold up philosophically at all. Like, there's nothing about Jurassic Park that is less ethical than a regular fucking zoo.
It's just that, yeah, it's and, like, things that, like, aren't supposed to be there, and they're just like...
Well, supposed to be there says who? Jesus?
Yeah, right.
Did Jesus tell you not to make a dinosaur zoo? No, you just assumed he would.
Elephants aren't supposed to be in Philadelphia either.
Elephants aren't supposed to be in Philadelphia either. People aren't supposed to be in Philadelphia. People are supposed to be stabbing zebras somewhere in Ethiopia or some shit.
Right.
I'm gonna go stab a zebra at the Philadelphia Zoo right now, just to prove the point. I've lost track.
I'll show you, Stripes.
I'll show you. That's not what a perfectly reasonable guess for what the zebra's name is, but I know that it's not Stripes, but oh god.
I meant Stripes is in what you do with a knife.
Oh. Man, imagine Jesus at the zoo. He'd just be like, Amen, I say to you, this is hella tight. I love dinosaurs.
Yeah, alright, so let's talk about some other powers that might better fit the Indominus for a better movie, a better exhibit, a better army.
Wow, yeah, okay. Better animal powers. Well, I mean, do you have a list?
Yes, I do.
Well, let's hear it. Let's throw some of these animal fact pearls at my feet.
Okay, so look, they already made the Indominus pretty smart. It had a memory. It knew where they implanted that tracking chip in it.
Which it's weird that it's weird that it knows what that is. Also,
and I liked your concept earlier about human DNA and some of the bad stuff you can get with it.
In love where this is going.
Well, well, you're gonna have a similar movie disappointment when I don't say human DNA.
Oh, fucking damn it, Star-Lord.
But I was thinking that what if the Indominus Rex talked like a raven might?
I'm in. I am so in. Oh my god, that's so interesting.
Instead of just the boring, like, roaring and stuff like that.
Alan.
Yeah. But just, definitely, for the Fallen Kingdom especially, tries to do the horror thing, but I think that'd be really just freaky, seeing a big monster like this, a big monstrous dinosaur like this, and it's going like, ah, like almost forming words.
Okay, yeah. You would have to set it up in the movie, though.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta have, like, a parrot talking or something to remind people, like, oh, yeah, birds talk.
Yeah, but
because otherwise that'll just be, like, some absolute, like...
Well, you have it like roaring and growl. You have it like growling and making sounds early in the film, but at the end, it like he's like looking down at, and he says like, "Glare." It's just some. I just thought that was an interesting thing. All the way to speech.
That reminds me of what is it? There's the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, where Gollum tells that to Harry Osborn, where it's like, yes, Caesar is home. But what it also reminds me of is the one of the earlier draft endings to the movie Alien, where the alien kills Ripley in her escape shuttle, and like puts its mouth through her mouth and speaks in her voice, like asking for like a distress call so that it can like be taken to Earth and infect everything there.
Ooh, yeah, that's very cool.
We should have talked about that in the Xenomorph episode.
We talked about 8 simple rules.
Oh man, well, we have no rule saying that we only have to do each monster once.
No, we can definitely return to the Xenomorph, and we should.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's one. I think good for exhibits. Not sure about and movie too. But
for
military,
movie? No. For military, that's some psychological warfare shit.
It's scaring the enemy and stuff like that.
You just need to teach it how to speak like the local language of whatever country we're colonizing that day.
Okay, I've got another idea here, and I need to set the scene. Okay.
Okay, I'm in.
Okay. The Indominus Rex is chasing the kids, and they jump off a waterfall, and now they're in a pool of water, right?
Yep. Oh boy.
They surface on the other side, and they swim to it. It's a big lake. It's a huge lake, and the Indominus is on the other side of it, and they've made it safely away. The Indominus looks like he's turning away to leave, but then he turns back, and then he starts. He throws his body back and starts flailing his arms, and builds up enough speed to start running across the water, like the green basilisk lizard.
That's... Okay. It is too big to do that, but I love it. Like, it would basically need Adam. It would need, like, these enormous fucking Jacana feet to just, like...
Yeah, I had a feeling that wouldn't check out on the science end.
No, like, I think the basilisk lizard, I think the feet are slightly webbed, maybe, but I think the main point is that, like, the way the scales are arranged creates enough surface tension to support the weight for a short period of time. But I don't think you can do that with a whole dinosaur.
Yeah.
Unless it's... Wait, I've got an idea.
Hmm?
Henry Wu. I know how to make this happen. Henry Wu just installs
like hydraulics,
a canola gland in the soles of the dinosaur's feet. It's just constantly leaking cooking oil, and it makes it easier to track, and it can walk on water because it's constantly floating.
Oh man, yeah, that's not bad. You could also solve this by just making it like fully amphibious.
I like your thing better.
Okay.
Wait, why didn't the cuttlefish DNA do that? That's so much cooler.
Yeah, or all the frog stuff they keep putting in it. They keep putting frogs in this thing.
Oh my god, you're right. This thing's chock full of frogs.
It's full of frogs. So, and yeah, no, our problem with the military purpose is that it's this land creature is a little tough to navigate. But amphibious makes it, all of a sudden, it can move through twice as many environments.
If only there was oil underwater.
Well,
then maybe we could make use of that.
Flipping over to the Indosaurus, I know we won't talk too much about it, but that laser pointer strategy.
The Indoraptor.
Indoraptor, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, here's the thing about that name. Neither Indominus nor Indoraptor is occupied by a current genus in the animal kingdom, so that's all good. But Indominus means indomitable, and Indoraptor means Indian thief. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, so I guess what I was thinking is that, it's stupid to point a gun with a laser on it at someone that you want to die. But what if it was like there was a submarine that was like leaving, and the dinosaur that you had was amphibious, or a vehicle of some kind? I guess is what I'm getting at.
Are you saying you want to ride the Indominus Rex into aquatic battle?
Look. I went through my fun I went through the superpowers that Colin Trevorrow didn't look up on Google that some animals possess. And I'm thinking that, the ability to travel across or through water would definitely give this thing a leg up.
I feel like you're gonna transition into, and speaking of leg up, millipedes.
Well, speaking of mobility, there's a small little lizard that can be found all over the place, known as the gecko.
Oh. Well, okay. Same problem.
Yes. You don't think it's a matter of material? You think it's a size thing?
Well, there have actually been some very interesting biomimicry engineering projects about using the way that a gecko's toe pads work to create a climbing thing that can actually hold human or greater weight.
Yeah, actually, I just explored one of that on my mechanical engineering courses. Not the actual application, but we saw it similarly cited.
Right. Yeah. Man, I mean, and all that technology in the intervening time since we've both graduated college has really, changed the world for the better. Everybody's climbing around on shit. It's great.
Yeah, everyone's got slippers of spider climbing. But yeah, I was just thinking of, and I don't know.
Well,
yeah, you'd have to really change. So a lot of these features involve changing the Indominus Rex in a big way, right? If you truly wanted to make something that could not just run across water, but something that was had this mobility of a gecko, it would have to be smaller, thinner, lighter. Correct?
Yes.
More streamlined than the big fat monster that we see on screen.
Well, let's not body shame the dinosaur whose body.
The big out of shape mistake
Okay, wow.
on the big screen.
Okay. So, I don't think the point where you're getting this animal small enough to climb up buildings is much smaller than the threshold for it still being scary.
Okay. I agree that scariness will overrule the
But let's
gecko powers.
let's look at this in universe where like all the dinosaurs are silly and they don't have feathers and like all that stuff.
Well, I'm also it's starting to occur to me that there's not a lot of like skyscrapers in Isle Nublar.
No, and like there are other climbing animals. I think like Indominus Rex like climbing up on the visitor center and like pouncing on Star-Lord from like up 2 stories up. That's neat.
Yeah, if it could make that landing, that pounce landing.
Ooh, that's good. Well, I think I'm just describing like a giant tiger, basically.
Okay. Yeah, right. The powers of that. There's a couple more aquatic ones here that are, hometown favorites for me. The archer fish that you know.
Oh yeah, no, nothing's more terrifying than spitting water at a bug.
Yeah.
Imagine, okay, here's the scene. Like, it's just like all these guys with guns are just walking down like a river somewhere, and they're just like looking around for something, and like one of them just like looks at a bug on a leaf, and then just like, oh my god, it's here! And it dies. Because it's not immune to gunfire. Why was that a part of it, Henry?
Yeah, why is it bulletproof?
Like, I understand that you're making a Hannibal dinosaur, as in a dinosaur that can be ridden across the Alps like the elephants that Hannibal of Carthage made. Not like Hannibal, the much more popular intellectual property about Hannibal Lecter. Okay.
All right, there's speaking of, all right, spitting water, that's not scary. But hey, if we're throwing in dinos, if we're throwing in Jurassic Park dinos that have scary powers,
oh,
why don't we put some Dilophosaurus in there?
Oh, hey, that's something.
So all jokes aside, all like dumb animal ideas aside, like I'm surprised they didn't do that, right?
That's completely fair. No, I was very happy to see my beloved son Spitty back on the big screen, in a hologram type way, in Jurassic World 1, Jurassic Park 4. This time it's Jurassic Park again.
Yeah, that's really funny because it's almost like the Dilophosaurus like died, and they used like leftover footage to recreate him. Like that's usually how when someone appears as a hologram.
I will say, despite the fact that Dilophosaurus is like way too small and it has a neck frill and it spits poison, that is my favorite dinosaur in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
I love him. He's my adorable son Spitty.
It's the only dinosaur that wins, right?
You know, it really is.
Yeah, he does exactly what he wants to do.
Spitty.
And he climbs into a car too.
Man, we should make the I-Rex. We should make the I-Rex.
Wait, hang on. Doesn't Spitty die?
No.
He survives being locked in a Jeep?
I imagine he busts a window.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry. Of all the things that we know they can do, dinos can do, open doors is on the list.
Oh, yeah, that's completely fair.
Yeah, that's... I'm sorry, I was talking as if I was from 1992.
Ellie, they were smart. They were smarter than primates. They were, like, about as smart as a possum, according to regular... Real velociraptors were, like, they've estimated the intelligence, like, the brain-to-body encephalization quotient to be, like, around that of a possum, which is pretty smart, but, like, chill.
Yeah. I've got 2 last powers here.
Mm-hmm.
One is in this. All right, cooler than the archer fish is the pistol shrimp.
Yes, this is where I was going to point this out.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Why don't you explain the pistol shrimp a little bit?
Well, the pistol shrimp is half shrimp, half pistol, all cop, and that's not true. The pistol shrimp is a good person, and it can click its claw to a point where it actually creates enough sonic energy in such a small space to create a vacuum in the water. The force of that can create an implosion that actually makes like an audible sound and a flash of light.
That's what I call thunder damage.
Now that's what I call thunder damage volume 6.
Yeah, it uses this against its prey.
It can also use this to break out of jars.
I'm thinking like we've been talking amphibiousness and going into the water. That'd be a perfect way for them to lose track of this dinosaur, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they're on an island. It's surrounded by water. And yeah, having to all the difficulty they had fighting this thing on land. Imagine fighting in the water. And if it showed off powers similar to this, that'd be even scarier.
Okay, I'm reading the Wikipedia article now. When in colonies, the snapping shrimp can interfere with sonar and underwater communication. The shrimp are a major source of noise in the ocean and can interfere with anti-submarine warfare. So,
well, that's perfect for all our applications, except for the first one. But yeah, the military would love that kind of creature.
Yeah, as a zoo exhibit, I think it might be the worst choice ever.
Yeah, so it'd have to be in water, and if it was, it would be terrible.
Zoo visitors can't put up with black and white ruffed lemurs. They can't put up with a pistol shrimp the size of a Buick. How big is a Buick? I don't... Whatever.
It's like, car-sized.
Checks out. I think you were the one who once said, like, if my wife were murdered and the only thing I knew was the car that the guy drove, I wouldn't be able to help. I'd be like, it's red, I think.
Yep, that is very correct. Or if it was this movie, if he was murdered in the Jurassic World film, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's a Mercedes-Benz.
Oh yeah,
it's a pristine Mercedes-Benz. It's riding through the dirt jungle and in a perfect car, Mercedes-Benz.
Ride Through the Dirt Jungle is perhaps my second favorite Alice Cooper album.
I have a last animal power here, and that is Back to Frogs.
Ooh.
Yes, and I imagine you might be familiar with them, but
I am riveted. And okay, I meant it exactly like that. All right, proceed.
Yeah, it's like the scene where like they cornered the Indominus Rex, and we got mad because it just starts talking to raptors, and then it's its friend then. But what if they cornered it and oh man, he's got nothing left. We got this guy's number, and you see from his lanky arms, Wolverine claws emerge. Like the African hairy frog does.
I love the African hairy frog. He's my favorite. He does all kinds of neat tricks, like break his own bones to make knives.
Yeah, break his own bones to make knives is what happens.
And he even has sideburns, like a little Wolverine.
Yeah, so he does this Wolverine frog thing and like gets weapons, and that could totally turn a scene or turn this tide of a battle.
That's the cool. If that happened in the movie, people... Well, the trick would be making it look more like the West African clawed frog than like Wolverine. People would still say it was a Wolverine thing, but if you just did Wolverine, then people would be like, okay. But if you made it like a thing, then people would be like, oh, it's a...
Yeah, literally, it... So, like, the two strongest ideas here are the spitting venom and doing that thing, which are two well-established, and already, I call them, like, low-hanging fruit when it comes to things that you're already working with here. You're already working with frog DNA, and you're already shoving dinos together.
Yeah. Okay, I think the thing that people are going to point out is the Indominus Rex already has regular claws. It does not need, for any reason, to grow shit out of its hands.
That's very true.
But consider this: it would be rad.
Yeah, that's a rule of cool, if you ask me. Like, even if it fought them this in the same way that it does, but it, like, you see it protract its claws.
Consider this, it would be rad and rule.
Yeah. Or maybe, like, the army, let me put it this way, the army, they're, like, suit up in, they're wearing, like, bulletproof vests and stuff when they go to fight him, but they're, like, if they truly have armor that can, like, withstand the caliber of the Indominus's claws.
A bulletproof vest? Like, is it gonna shoot them?
If it's a pistol strip, it might.
Oh yeah. Well, this was one of my ideas for what to mix the Indominus Rex with in order to make it a better military application, and that is a gun. Half dinosaur, half gun, Gunnosaurus just running around. Gunnosaurus running wild.
Well, you really shot down my archerfish idea. To give him a gun.
How about gunfish?
Yeah. It's the modern version.
The new... Oh man, the
archerfish.
The military's gonna... Like, at some point, some military contractor has, like, dreamt of just, like, taking one of those rainbow reef fish and putting, like, a gat on the front of it, right?
Yeah, so if you... honestly, the part where I come around to the dino-human hybrid is when, like, okay, if you're using dinosaurs to, like, make super soldiers.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because then if you're, like, sure, they'll look all, like, dino-y and have scales and stuff like that, but they'll have a bunch of dino powers and weapons, like natural weapons and things like that. That's awesome, and I love that.
Adam, I think you just accidentally turned the Indominus Rex into the Power Rangers.
Well, I'm not saying do that we have to keep our big monstrous boy here, but for that military story that they're trying to tell, it'd be better if this was not an animal exhibit. It was a science lab. I
also think that's not necessary. I don't think making a soldier kind of like a dinosaur helps anything at all. I actually think you're just doing it. I think that's a real post hoc kind of thinking right there.
Well, yeah, I guess maybe not like a war soldier. I'm thinking more like
one of those
like a Suicide Squad thing.
Okay, now it's Killer Croc.
Yeah, that's it. Guns ruin everything.
Guns really do ruin everything, and that's why I'd like to introduce a new generation of warfare. That's right. It's Monster Rehab.
Oh.
It's Monster Rehab, but it's really just me doing exactly what you did, except I'm doing it now.
Okay, please go on.
Okay, so I'm going to list a couple of animals for you.
Okay.
Tiger. And the Indominus Rex is the base, you understand. Okay, so
yes,
tiger.
So he's got, like, stripes, and he's got, like, fangs.
I was thinking...
And he's got those ears that, like, kind of, like, look like they're regular ears.
I was thinking, like, 4 legs.
Oh.
Mostly that, but, like, kind of the tiger's just kind of instincts and, like, the prowling kind of, like, animations that you would put into the model.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Movement-wise... The T-Rex's movement's not scary.
No,
right?
It's not. No, and I think it's less...
very goofy.
I think it's less scary than the actual animal was.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. If this thing was, like, prowling around on all 4 legs, it would be scarier.
Yeah, okay. Now I'm not done. Pistol shrimp in the mouth. You know what I mean by that.
Like firing lasers out of its mouth.
Yeah, how good.
So I think that the Indominus Rex does the job right.
Imagine if it could do a fireball, though.
Yeah, if it could make a fireball, that'd be pretty scary.
Okay, I'm not done. Pangolin armor.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and also it has coronavirus.
Oh no.
I didn't mean to do it this exact way, but speaking of coronavirus, bat wings.
I was considering adding wings. It's a bit of a stretch,
Well,
and-
not yet. It's not. Wait until I give it wings.
Yeah, well, hang on. I think the wings have to be fairly large to support its weight.
Yeah, I'll make it fairly large.
Okay.
Solve that.
It'd be
That's
mostly wings, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. But, like, how good?
It seems a little... I guess it depends on how well the wings fold up.
And also, like, dinosaurs have hollow bones. You know, I'll just make the bones extra hollow, but that's what the pangolin scales are for. Wait, that defeats the purpose of making the bones hollow. Never mind.
Yeah, I think the pangolin scales might be working against you weight-wise.
Never mind. Just go forward. Don't go back. Okay. And lastly, I want to put some human intelligence in there, just, for funsies.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm
I
a
don't
mad
think...
scientist. I'm contractually obligated to do that part.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything that the Indominus... so, in the movie proper, if the Indominus Rex had human DNA, what would have been different?
I think it wouldn't. I think it would have just been a better twist that's more shocking.
Yeah, it was just as smart. He, outsmarted people. He snuck up on people. There's no... I don't know what's special about... yeah, I understand how humans are great, but it's a lot of, like, raising
Up until
and
the movie...
education.
Up until the movie was released, people were talking about how the hands were like a dead giveaway that there was human DNA in the thing.
Oh, yeah, so I kind of... that you would give it human DNA so it can, like, use tools like a gun.
Yeah, but that might be different from this other thing I'm going here with the tiger, pistol shrimp, pangolin, bat, dinosaur
Correct.
thing.
You're upping its IQ score, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The last piece of this is me riding on top of it and laying waste to Westeros. What I've done is I've made a dragon. You're welcome.
So you get the human intelligence, yeah, and the bat wings, okay. Yeah, that's a dragon.
It's a dragon. I have made a dragon, and I will...
I mean, I'm not going to dispute that. It would have been a better movie. It would have been better exhibits, and it would have been a better a military purpose.
And a better finale to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, if Doctor Wu appears, oh man, out like Artificer like Doctor Wu.
Oh, that's good.
Would that be? He's got like the maester robes on.
He's got the chain.
But he still has like the black turtleneck underneath.
Yeah, of course he has the evil turtleneck. I gotta get an evil turtleneck. I would be...
It came from laziness, but there was a period in college where I would wear a black like Under Armour like shirt, and I really felt like I had like a villain thing going on, and it was neat.
Oh, I briefly started a villain club in college, where we just decided that we were supervillains, because we were like, what is the difference between us and supervillains is we don't call ourselves that. Let's just fix that. And there were people that were actually starting to take it seriously, so I left. And I'm not saying that I accidentally created the coronavirus, but I might have inspired some bright young minds.
Yeah, that's we'll explore that in episode 46 of the podcast.
Whoops.
In case you're wondering when that seed's gonna pay off.
Oh man, I'm
when that Chekhov gun is going to be fired, we're going to be interrupted by some kind of like terrorist cell.
What you've done is you've wiggled your fingers in a magical manner and actually cursed me to remember that, so that in episode 46 I will just bring that joke back.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to mind. I don't think like people that were ready for Rapunzel to be episode 46 or whatever are going to be upset.
I think Rapunzel counts as a monster.
I do not. I pulled like a fable out of my head, and I'm like, odds are it has a monster in it.
Of all, like, the standard fairy tale princesses, I think the one with the crazy, inhumanly long hair, I think that might kind of count.
But we're getting off topic here. Yeah, your dragon works out pretty well. That's a great. Yes, I'm all for it.
I had several other ideas.
Okay.
Well, first off, I can't stop thinking about this elephant centipede. It's It's got a bunch of legs, and it's, like, big, and the tusks are the pinchers. That's just neat. Like, there's a scene in Jurassic World where, like, they go behind the scenes at Henry Wu's lab, and there's all these, like, small, weird genetic animals, including my new son, Finn Newt, who is also good. And it's a newt with a fin, and he is my new son. But I want to see a movie about that. I want to see a movie about genetic engineering gone amok, not Dinosaur Zoo.
Yeah, unfortunately, it kind of pays in two ways. It pays the bills. It's like no one else is selling what the Jurassic series is selling in giant dinos on the big screen. That's why the movies are allowed to be as dumb as they have become.
Yeah, and also like. That's not because dinosaurs are copyrighted, it's just because anyone doing that would think, oh, it's like a Jurassic Park thing.
I also think that it's hard for a new company or property to realize dinos, and as they already have all the models, and like they've done all the legwork and they have all the like years of IP. So if instead of Universal, if like Disney made a dino series. They've had dinos projects, for sure.
My last idea,
okay,
was to Disney's Dinosaur from the year 2000.
Yep, I know that one.
They made a whole Dino Land USA about it.
Okay.
They were gonna make like this awesome fantasy section of Disney's Animal Kingdom, and then some idiot decided, you know what movie's gonna come out soon? Is Dinosaur. We should dedicate a whole third of our theme park to Dinosaur. This is going to pay off, guys. We're going to make it like a kitschy 50s roadside carnival piece of bullshit right next to these awesome, immersive African and Asian environments. And then a couple years later, we'll do the same thing with Avatar.
Pretty much.
Anyway, my idea. Take the Indominus Rex. Give it just a little bit of human DNA.
As per the formula, yep, a little human.
And then a little more. And then a little more. And what I'm eventually going to describe to you is a dude. It's just a guy. Well, it's a girl, actually, because Indominus Rex it starts out as female.
Okay.
So, it's just... She's just there. It's just a person. But technically, they're a dinosaur, and her name will be Thesia.
Okay, so I believe this happened in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
No, it didn't, because they just cloned a person.
Okay.
And what I'm doing is I am taking human DNA and putting it into a dinosaur so much that it ceases to be a dinosaur with human DNA. It becomes...
All right, so... I think this will be pretty neutral for the military.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about how what the movie is.
Well, I mean, they did have that really weird take. They had that weird take in Fallen Kingdom of like, well, she is not who you think she is. She's a clone, so she doesn't deserve rights. And it's like, that's not a law. She's still a person. Like,
yeah,
No one's arguing the ethics of clones. People are arguing the ethics of human cloning, but not human clones. Like, once the clone's already, like...
Yeah. Oh, they made a better argument for that about dinosaurs in the movie. That said, like, we already made them, so now they're in trouble. Right?
Yeah. And also, the ending of that movie makes no sense at all, because it's like... Oh... The dinosaurs are like me, so I'm going to free them. No, they're not. You're a person. What are you talking about? Why is no one stopping her?
We've talked about two of the biggest flaws of Fallen Kingdom so far, but I'm curious how this is going to be a good exhibit.
Oh well, I mean, oh boy, there's some dark.
I think this is the world's worst exhibit.
Putting people in zoos is an incredibly dark period of zoo history that people don't often talk about, but it was a thing that people did. Like putting a lot of like, oh, here's the hippos and here's the gorillas and here's the people from Africa. Okay.
Who?
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's
Dark Zoo chapter. Dark Zoo History, my new podcast.
Yeah, I do not want to go too far into that.
Nope.
And I think that this fails on that account.
No, but I think in terms of monster rehab, I think we can just put her into society then, and like,
oh yeah, she could just be a person. That's fine.
she can just be a person. That's fine, and like maybe she has like some cool dinosaur eyes or something. What I'm saying is, I want to give her like just one cool dinosaur trait.
Yeah, I get it. Why bother if you just made a whole human again with a little dino little dino juice inside?
Little dino juice. You know what? I think we could all stand to have a little dino juice in us. I'm gonna create a virus that injects dinosaur DNA into humans. And if that's not the plot for Jurassic Park 6, then just somebody tell Colin that he's done a bad job. Call Colin. Colin. My new podcast.
I'll call him Trevorrow.
Oi, Trev, listen. Dino-virus. Oh, wait, he can't make a dino-virus movie after coronavirus.
Wait, you weren't playing to that bit?
No.
Yes. No, viruses are a hot topic right now.
You know what? I completely forgot about that part. It must have slipped my mind. I'm kind of a mad scientist. It's kind of my vibe and my jam, my VAM. I created a new genetic hybrid. It's called VAM.
You're not going with jive, then?
No, that's already a different word. I'm not crazy.
Okay.
I'm just making a dinosaur virus.
I think it's time that we take the Indominus Rex to its final rating place.
The final rating place.
Where we put this monster to bed.
Yeah. That segment name's only a pun sometimes.
Yeah, I think so. So the Indominus Rex, in my book, is 100% a 5 out of 10.
That was a confusing way to say that.
100% of the time, it's 50% good.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Yep.
I'm going to say that it is 65 million years in the making out of 100 million years in the making total.
All right. I think that where do you rate your final Indominus Rex? The person.
Oh well, 10 out of 10. She's great. She's an A+. We're best friends.
Thesia.
Yeah, no, she's a delight. I think I made a daughter. I think I accidentally made a daughter.
Yeah, that sounds like what happened. Really quick before we end here. No, never mind. I was gonna say who'd win in a fight? Your Indominus Rex or my Indominus Rex?
Well, okay, I'm talking about the dragon one.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh wait, she rides the daughter rides the dragon. Okay, I see how this is. Or did I accidentally create like a princess castle type situation?
I think you did.
Huh. It all goes back to Rapunzel, the greatest monster of all.
If you get 2, I get 2. So there's 2 knife-wielding, spit venometers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vote now on your phones, everyone.
Yeah, I'll put up a poll on Twitter when this goes up.
You know what we didn't talk about was color at all, but that's because fossils don't preserve color very often. Sometimes they do, which is neat, but not always.
You know what's cooler than all whites?
Anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll make him I'll give him zebra stripes.
Well, the daughter is just gonna be like a person, and she can.
Yeah.
She'll just have like human colors, I guess, like just kind of a generic shade of like pinkish, brownish, whatever.
Yeah, you really walked yourself into that one.
Yeah, no, I think I walked out, and and she maybe has dinosaur eyes. I'm not sure about that part. And then the dragon one will be green because that is the only valid dragon color.
Okay, awesome. So thank you for joining us, everyone. Tune in next time when we leave this world once and for all.
That seems extreme.
Yeah, neither of those things are going to happen.
Thank you, Rex. Thank you, Rex. Thank you, Rex. I'm so fucking grateful for my Rex.